What's up, guys? So, tonight I'm just gonna go off the dome again and speak some fucking facts, baby. And uh, I think I kind of wanted to just talk about a perspective change I've had, and it's to start being more social. And even though I've been, I feel like over the years, I've developed a lot of awareness of sort of how your mind and behaviors get shaped with schooling and uh, with schooling, with media, with like the web of information that's out there that's available to you, and really what you know about the world, and as far as like politics, and as far as what you know about money, as far as you know about like other governments and other countries and all that information. And really, what that comes down to is the only way you have learned about that is through these streams of information like media, through TV, through through school. And so this over time, you being exposed to this over time, is kind of how you've learned and how you've understood the world thus far. But for me, I'd say the past like couple years or so, I've actively been like taking myself away from um like just like the norms of like politics and the norms of uh like having fun and like going out on the weekends and enjoying yourself. And so I've sort of taken myself away from that. And I think what I've learned is that there's positives to it, to doing that, and there's also negatives to doing that. And what I'm trying to find right now is the balance between awareness of how your mind gets influenced and the web of like information and the consistent like stream of information that's entering your mind, like what you're consuming. There's a balance between becoming aware of that, being very particular about what's going into your mind, what's going into your body. And then there's also a balance of enjoyment and a balance of actually being part of this, I was gonna say system, but being part of like being part of people and being part of everyone else. And yeah, I guess like what I know about the reason why I think it's important to be very conscious about what's going into your mind and what's going into your body is because it creates your state of being. If all you're feeding your mind is like social media and you're just like rapidly scrolling through social media and you see like disturbing things, you see gory things, you see like things that piss you off about like politics and things that things that are funny, things that uh, I don't know, just think of because I don't really, and I'm not like saying I'm better than you or like whatever, but I don't really like scroll through social media, and I haven't really like rapidly scrolled in a while. But from what I know, is that you're getting exposed to a lot of stuff. It's like a fucking war zone on social media. And you might see like hyper stimulating things as far as like hot girls, as far as um like posts that talk about politics, like I said. So by you rapidly scrolling and you uh getting exposed to this stuff, it's actually going into your subconscious mind. And then you start to you start to form these like beliefs about the world. Like you start to form these ideas of like what you've been exposed to on social media. Um, like America fucking sucks, or like uh, I don't really know. Like I don't really know like what you're watching or like what you're following on social media. But my main point is that by you getting exposed to this, and if you're not like careful about like scrolling and uh like if you're mindlessly scrolling, then it's your subconscious mind is like catching these things, catching these pieces of information, and it's forming your beliefs. And so that's just actually one example of social media is just one example of your consumption, uh, like a consumption thing that you're putting into your body. And like, let's move on to food. If you're consuming a bunch of fast food every day, then you're eating these, when you break it down, you're eating like oils that are not good for you, like vegetable oils and like fried stuff and chicken that's not even fresh and like meats that are not fully fresh. And so that's the kind of quality food that's going into your body. And so if you do that over time, then like say you have a habit of like eating fast food 3 to 4 times a week, then every time you consume those things, then you're going to get in this state of being that's not as good, that's not as like normal because the way that the like oils interact with your body, it just like drains your energy. And I don't know the science behind it. This is just through experimentation and like naturally learning. But that's food, like quality of food. So we got social media and then quality of food that you're consuming. And then we move on to drugs. Are you vaping? Are you smoking cigarettes every day? Are you putting a lot of drugs in your body? Are you drinking all the time? And so there's another layer. if you have these types of habits, then your state of being is just going to be your state of being is going to be naturally lower because you're putting something in your body that it's like not just a stimulation factor, but it's just like stuff that's not healthy for you. And so that lowers your energy levels a little bit. And yeah, there's a lot of consumption habits that you need to look out for and you need to be aware of because it adds up and it creates your state of being. So if you have a bunch of bad habits, then naturally your state of being is going to be lower. And if you're consuming a bunch of like media and social media and TV and like politics, then if you realize the news always brings up like bad stories of like people dying and fucking people shooting each other all the time. And then you start saying like, wow, our world is fucked up. Well, it's not as fucked up as you think because because you see the news all the time showing you that people are dying. So of course you think it's fucked up. And the more like tied into you are to these things like media, social media, uh like if you have bad habits, the more you are tied into these things, like the worse you're going to feel overall. And I've understood this. Well, I'm actually like, yeah, I've started to understand this. And that's why it's tough. Like, because I've gotten so like careful about like what's going into my mind, it's like I'm afraid of I'm afraid of even like having certain conversations because it's like I don't know. So that's I've kind of taken a step back from that stuff and it's definitely made me a little less social. It's definitely made me more reserved and more of like an analytical thinker. But I'm working on the balance of staying aware of these habits um, and my consumption habits. And then also, you know, when can I like when can I like have fun and enjoy myself? But the thing is, even when I enjoy myself, like enjoyment to me is not drinking, uh is not eating junk food because I know of how it makes me feel afterwards. So enjoyment to me is more like nature, being out in sunlight and having taking time aside and spending time with friends and having deep conversations. And that's really all it is for me. But like I even got to a point where I wasn't really like hanging out with anybody. Like I was just I don't really know what the fuck I was doing. I was just kind of yes, I'm working on my goals, but it's not as fun when you're just like all alone and yeah. So that's the spiel for tonight. And yeah, there's no structure to it. So hopefully you could have learned some stuff from this or picked up on some stuff, but don't be lonely. Hang out with your friends, tell people you love them, and just have more love in your system and it's going to be good for you.